Hey, I'm Matt, and this is me sat on the couch. You wouldn't think that something I do while I sit here watching Netflix holds the key to building serious wealth and total financial security, but it does. And in this short presentation, you're about to discover the 10-minute secret to making serious money that millionaires don't want you to know about. Watch this till the end, and you'll also find out why it's not your fault that all your hard work and financial investments haven't delivered the results you deserve. Today, you're going to escape the poverty mindset and finally start making great financial breakthroughs, all without having to work crazy long hours, without having to find some super money-making system or hidden loophole, and without needing to wait months to see results. In fact, what I'm about to share with you is so powerful, you don't even need to know how you're going to make your fortune right now. When you get this, you'll no longer be the average Joe that everyone knows earns average money and lives an average life. You'll be able to work from anywhere in the world, decide when you want to work, and the only person you'll ever have to answer to is yourself. Your friends and family will wonder how you're so successful, despite the fact you're never stressed, barely work, and seem to be on vacation all the time. They'll envy you and will constantly find themselves talking about your crazy success. I'll tell you now that you'll get sick of being asked, "What's your secret? How do I do what you do?" Everyone wants to know. You'll probably refer them to this very video, as even though you're probably skeptical right now. What I'm about to share with you is so powerful that you may never quite believe how much of an impact this will have on your life. I mean, can you imagine how different your life will be when instead of going from failure to failure, you're just moving from success to bigger success to even bigger success? Soon, you'll head to an ATM, check your balance, and see that you have more than enough to live the lifestyle you want and deserve. When you see something you want to buy, you don't have to wait till payday or write it off as something you'll never be able to afford. You just jump in your car, head to the store, and buy it in cash. Every purchase is stress-free. And that's all thanks to the fact you're on the inside and are one of the lucky few to know the multimillionaire brain's secret way of thinking. That's kind of like the final piece of the jigsaw. You see, up until now, you've probably thought you were on the road to riches on more than one occasion, but something always stood in your way. And don't worry, that's not your fault. It's no coincidence that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's almost carefully planned. The wealthiest 1% want to stay the wealthiest 1%. They don't want you or anyone else getting in on the action, so they keep quiet, dead quiet. They discuss the real money-making strategies they're using with their rich buddies, but they'll never share them with you. It's incredibly frustrating. You look at these guys in their designer clothing, stepping out of their cars that are probably worth more than your house, and they've made more money today than you will this month. You're working more and more just to keep up with the constant rise of your expenses. Some people watching this won't even have money left over at the end of the month to enjoy themselves. They're crippled by debts, bills, and expenses. If they don't take action, they'll never escape this vicious cycle. And you have to ask yourself, is this really any way to live? I asked myself this very same question a few years ago, and I didn't like the answer. Like you, I knew that I couldn't pull in any real money as an employee. I could pay my bills, maybe get a small pay rise every 2 years, and exist on what I made, but I couldn't really live. Looking back, I think my job was okay. I mean, I hated it at the time, but I didn't have to commute very far, and I knew a ton of people doing way worse than me. A lot of people would have switched places with me in a heartbeat, but I always wanted more. I wanted to be the kind of guy that could help their family out when they inevitably lost their jobs. When my son ran into our bedroom, madly excited about this advert for some toy he'd seen on TV and asked, "Can I have one, Dad?" I desperately wanted to be able to say, "Sure, I don't see why not." But I couldn't. And it didn't hurt that much because I personally didn't have the money. It hurt because I knew that he'd have to watch all his friends play with all the things we couldn't afford. And that broke his little heart. I also wanted my memories with my friends and family to consist of great times. When I think of myself as an old man, I didn't want to be looking at photos that everyone else has. I wanted to be looking at pictures of us on a beach in the Philippines, in front of the temples in Peru, on a roller coaster at Disneyland. I wanted to live the life that most people could only ever dream about. I didn't want regrets or to wonder what might have been if I'd tried harder or made more money.
I didn't want to reach old age and still find myself struggling week after week, month after month, year after year. So I set out to make a fortune, and what happened next was truly incredible. If you want to start seeing results faster than you ever thought possible, then pay attention, as in the next few minutes you'll know all about the secret wealthy brain hack that allows you to fulfill your dreams. Even if you found yourself pursuing wealth to be like playing the lead role in a horror story until now, the wealthy brain hack works even if you have no clue as to how you're going to build your fortune, don't have loads of money, and can only spare 10 minutes a day to make this happen. It's ingenious. So sit tight and get ready for a story that's going to change the way you build your income and accumulate wealth forever. I'll give you a few seconds to say goodbye to your old life, and see you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm Matthew Sullivan, and until a few months ago, I'd never been to a party where the poorest guy in the room drove a $160,000 Bentley. But when I went, I was finally one of them. I was a millionaire, and I made money just as easily as them. The $4 million plus that now sat in my bank account just begging to be spent proved that better than anything. But before I made my money, it had all been a real battle. I'd had a keen interest in making money, but my interest seemed to be more in spending loads of money on courses than actually making anything. Most nights I'd spend anywhere from $47 to $1,997 getting my hands on a system that promised me I'd make a killing. I spent money on stuff like this like an addict, but I never made a return on investment. I'd often make $100 here, $300 there, but ultimately for the amount of work I was putting in, that didn't cut it. Heck, 10 times those amounts would have been a criminal amount to take home every month for the hours I was putting in. I felt like all I could do was throw more money at the problem, but whenever I did that, I knew deep down that it was never coming back. My credit cards took a beating for months. They even kept me and my family afloat for a while. But eventually, they gave in to the relentless hammering and left me at my lowest point. One horrible day in October 2013, I was in a situation that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. My credit cards were maxed out. My bank balance was overdrawn by 17 cents, and payday was still 3 weeks away. It was humiliating. I was a hard-working, full-grown adult in my late 30s with a child, and for all my efforts in life, I had minus 17 cents to show for it. Not much for 2 decades of working for the man. Utterly embarrassed by my situation, I still had to make a phone call. I needed a loan. And not just a borrow a 20 from a friend kind of loan. I'm talking please cover my rent, car payments, credit cards, and other necessities kind of loan. My only option was to go head in my hands to my brother-in-law, who wasn't filthy rich but did better than me at the time. This wasn't an easy way out though, because Ryan, my brother-in-law, is a by-the-book kind of guy. He does not take risks. He does not have credit cards. And he does not really aspire to do anything even vaguely interesting. He's happy with his home, his 5-year-old car, and the 2 nice but not lavish vacation he takes every year. He always hated the fact that I was trying to make money for myself. He always used to say to me, "Stop wasting your time. It's never going to happen for you." And you know what? At certain times, I believed him. I used to stay awake at night thinking that maybe me and everyone else trying to live better lives were the punchline of an inside joke that wasn't very funny. But despite pretty much everyone I knew telling me, "You can't, you won't, and you shouldn't," I decided to ignore the noise and make it happen anyway. What other choice did I have? Did they really think I'd resign myself to 20, 30, maybe 40 more years in the same job? Doing the same drive to work? Living with the same financial problems that had already brought my life to a standstill? Sure. I knew patience was wearing thin with all my family, and I didn't blame them. When the rent isn't being paid because someone is losing money hand over fist, I can see how that becomes frustrating. But I wanted one last roll of the dice. I don't know whether it was stupid naivety or genuine belief, but a part of me really believed I was destined to be wealthy, and I always felt my time was just around the corner. I didn't have to make a fortune overnight, of course. I wouldn't want to insult anyone's intelligence by saying that was a realistic possibility. But I was looking to get things done fast. I knew that people were making fortunes from their own business, Forex, stock trading, affiliate marketing, email marketing, eBay, Amazon, but I'd tried all of that, and it hadn't worked out for me before. and I couldn't put my finger on why. I was definitely motivated enough, hungry enough, and just about smart enough to make it work. But you know what they say? Trying the same things over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So I went for a completely different approach. Rather than look for a new way to build my fortune, I looked at how I could tear down any obstacles that stood in my way. Rather than thinking about making money like the broke, struggling entrepreneur that I was, I looked at how I could think like a Steve Jobs, a Mark Zuckerberg, or a Donald Trump. These are the guys that have confidence in everything they do. Everything they touch turns to gold. They're not excited by small amounts of money at all. And that's why they're not condemned to a mundane life. I started by reading everything I could on how wealthy people live. Initially, my efforts were fairly fruitless. Just a bunch of stuff about how they hardly sleep, invest millions to make small returns, blah, 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 blah. I didn't find anything the average guy could really use to make a difference. But late one night, I did stumble across something really interesting. The article couldn't have been any more than 300 words. It was about a brain exercise that had been around practically since the dawn of human time. Nobody quite knows where it comes from, but there's evidence that Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, and ancient Chinese scholars all used it. More importantly, there's strong evidence to support that this is used by the world's richest people of today to empower the human brain, develop extraordinary intellect, and create remarkable mental clarity. Almost out of thin air. The article said that the elite of the elite already think like practitioners of this brain exercise naturally. But anyone could use these simple exercises for just 10 minutes a day and see real rewards. I was intrigued. Had I just found one of the world's best kept open secrets? I had nothing to lose. So I searched the web for the exercises they were talking about. And in the deep, dark depths of Google, I found the perfect guide on using them to devastating effect. On the first day, I put aside 10 minutes and found doing the exercises pretty weird. But by the end of the first few weeks, it had become a routine. And even though I hadn't noticed any significant change in myself, the results certainly said otherwise. I was still in a bad place financially. Ordering a Ferrari still felt like a distant dream. But I'd already lined up a few lucrative deals. And one of those deals was with a guy called Mark, who, yes, is the poor guy at the party that drives a $160,000 Bentley. I knew him on first-name terms because he used to drop his son off at the same preschool my son went to. I'd never reached out to him before, but now I was using what I call the wealthy brain hack. It suddenly seemed like a great idea. All fear of failure had disappeared at this point, so I fired him an email, seeing if the limited range of online skills I'd collected over the last few years were of any use to him. Amazingly, he replied and said, "Actually, I could do with some help. Can you swing by the office tomorrow at 3 p.m. and talk?" Not wanting to tell him I needed to be at work mid-afternoon on a Wednesday, I agreed and then called in sick. I'm a bad employee, I know. But there was no doubt in my mind that this was it, the deal I needed to finally break free of poor man syndrome and kick all my money worries to the curb once and for all. I was now really enjoying the work I was doing. I was tired every day, but I didn't procrastinate or laze around waiting for something to happen. I was now someone making it happen. I was moving forward with each passing minute, and I felt like it was no longer a matter of if I get rich. It was now just a matter of when. I started to prepare some ideas to put forward to Mark, and when I started, I immediately noticed one big change. Instead of thinking about how I could make a few dollars from Mark's software business, I started to think about how I could deliver value to him and make his life easier, as well as mine. Coming up with an amount I wanted to charge him had become one of the furthest things from my mind. And that's probably why I walked out of that 20-minute meeting with a check for $12,000 and a contract that said I'd get that same amount of money every single month. It took days for that initial success to sink in. I stared at the check for hours when I got back to my car. And when I went to cash the check at the bank, I'm pretty sure they thought something was up, as I could barely control myself. I was finally on the road to wealth. And it turned out that all I needed to do the whole time was 10 minutes worth of brain exercises while I watched Netflix every day. The best part of all was that once I received that initial $12,000, I didn't stop. In fact, I couldn't stop. The big, scary roadblocks that always stopped me before never reappeared. I had bags of energy and motivation. I was diversifying my income streams, turning any money that came in into more money. I rapidly reached the stage where I left my job because I had to. Before I knew it, I'd hit 1 million in sales, and I'd earned my place at the table with all the other millionaires. Now it's common for me to be at dinners, parties, and events where the guy with the smallest net worth still drives a $160,000 car. What I've been able to achieve by using these simple 10-minute brain exercises for success is incredible. And now I want to give you the chance to get in on the action. I've compiled everything you need to know into a product I call the Wealthy Brain Hack. Inside, not only will you be getting the exact painfully simple brain techniques I've personally used to generate several $1 million, you'll also be getting a bulletproof guide on how you can use these techniques to find success fast by spending no more than 10 minutes a day on this. I'll also show you why this information is so valuable to millionaires by revealing their little-known, never-before-been-told formula that is at the heart of every single dollar they make. You'll also see how this formula can help you find even bigger success in all areas of your life. Yes, this is a product that's going to make you tons of money and also enhance your relationships, love life, and health. As a bonus, I'll even share the traits that both myself and other millionaires all have and give you an easy way to pick up these traits without having to drastically change any of your habits. I guarantee that the Wealthy Brain Hack is the key to you becoming richer, happier, and more successful. But don't just take my word for it. Here's what a few Wealthy Brain Hack users had to say. Kirsty from New Jersey writes, "Dear Matt, I'm just writing you to let you know that I've been using the Wealthy Brain Hack for a couple of months now, and the results have been outstanding to the point where I'm actually nearly in tears as I write this. In a short space of time, I've grown my income from $40,000 to over $90,000, and there is absolutely nothing that's going to stop me from bringing in 6 figures plus next year. I can't begin to tell you what this has done for me, Matt. I used to be a struggling freelancer, and now I'm overrun with work and have to outsource most of the stuff that comes in. I'm still really shocked by the results, as let's just say I'm not the most committed to exercises, but I guess the fact that I've used this and not really followed your advice shows just how powerful a change of mindset can be. Feel free to use this as a testimonial if you think it will help others try this. I know they'll love it within minutes. I hope you're keeping well. Warmest regards to you and your family. Kirsty Robson." Jake, one of my first ever customers from London, says, "Matt, after studying your methods for a couple of weeks, I finally found the courage to pull the trigger and launch my own website. I'd been toying with the idea of starting a business for a while, but if I was being brutally honest with myself, I was more scared of it being successful than I was of it failing miserably. Anyway, I bit the bullet, and in my first week of going live, I collected payments totaling around $5,000 and have 2 others who have committed to spending a couple of thousand each with me. That's nearly $10,000 in my first week. I can't freaking believe it, and I don't think it's a coincidence this has happened now, do you? I don't know how much I'll go on to make, but thanks so much for giving me the tools to actually get something going. Best wishes, Jake." And Damien from Las Vegas writes, "Hey Matt, it's been a year since I first contacted you to say my initial thanks. I was the guy that made about $200 and got way too excited. And I know you're really busy, but I was doing my brain exercises today and I really thought I should write you. As you know, I love my family and everything, but it's you that really got me to take my life seriously. $300,000 in sales, $250,000 of that is profit. That's what I've done in 12 short months. On paper, I'm probably a little way off being filthy rich, but you know what? I don't even care. When you go from earning $30,000 a year and working 12 hours a day to $250,000 a year with plenty of time off, you are filthy rich in my book. And I doubt I'd have done it if you hadn't been so damn convincing about buying the Wealthy Brain Hack. Your stuff is the real deal, and I can't thank you enough. Damien. P.S. You'll see a few orders from my friends and family soon as I've told them about you. Now, it's your turn to join the dozens of successful practitioners already using the Wealthy Brain Hack to change their lives and build their bank balances. Remember, 10 minutes a day is all you need to complete the brain exercises, and you'll see almost immediate results. Just imagine how much easier and more fulfilling your life will become in the very near future. Get this, and you can really start enjoying life and take advantage of all the opportunities the world offers when money is no object. You'll be able to help your family out and make sure that they always have everything they need, even when they can't help themselves. Your job will be a thing of the past. Getting up early and working for a few measly dollars an hour is something you'll look back on and laugh about. Because trust me, you won't be going back. You'll have the home, the cars, the lifestyle that everyone you know will envy. You'll be an overachiever. People will look at you differently. They'll respect you. Money will be drawn to you like a moth to a flame, and you'll become a cash magnet that only attracts and never repels. The best part is you'll have proved everyone that doubted you wrong. All because you did something they couldn't do. You applied yourself, said, yes, I want to take control of my life. And that's why these stupidly simple brain exercises are really going to work for you. Here's the deal. In just a few short weeks, I'm going to launch the Wealthy Brain Hack to the general public at my normal price of $97. But before that, I want my inbox to be flooded with success stories, testimonials, and real-life results from people like you. So you won't be paying the usual price of $97. If you act right now during this special promotional period and promise that you'll send me an email when you're successful, I'm going to give you instant access to this for less than half of what everyone else will pay. You are getting the entire Wealthy Brain Hack package for only $37. Listen, I'm more than happy to put my money where my mouth is. So look, don't decide right now. Take full advantage of my rock-solid 60-day money-back guarantee. Try the Wealthy Brain Hack for the next 2 months on me. And if in that time you don't find yourself effortlessly creating wealth, or you just don't feel that the 10-minute techniques I share are the reason you're suddenly crushing it, then send me an email with the subject refund, and I will send back every last penny. No questions asked, no hassles. All you have to do to get started is click the buy button below this video. Enter your details, and you'll be on the road to wealth tonight. When you do that, you'll be taken to a 100% safe checkout where you'll be able to secure instant access, even if it's really late at night and you're the only person awake in your neighborhood. You can then dive into the material and see results in just days. So hit the button now and get this before the promotional price ends. If you're still watching, you might have a few questions about the Wealthy Brain Hack, so let me answer those for you. These are real questions sent in by real people, so here goes. Question 1. Matthew, I really like the presentation, but I'm still having a hard time believing that it's possible to change my life with this. It seems too simple. You're right. It does seem too simple, but that's the beauty of the Wealthy Brain Hack. Most people love to overcomplicate the process of getting rich by trying to find a magic system, but you won't find anything like that. Instead, you can just use this proven method to attract wealth and make any system work for you. If you don't like it, you always have my ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee, and you shouldn't feel guilty about using that if you decide this isn't for you. As I know that while most people love the results they get with this, I can't possibly please everybody. Question number 2. What if I have questions once I've bought the Wealthy Brain Hack? Well, I really want you to succeed with this, so there's round-the-clock support. You just need to email me your question, and one of my expert support team will get back to you promptly. Question 3. Matthew, I'm pretty useless with money and haven't been able to make anything, let alone the kind of money you're talking about. Will this work for me? Yes, if you use it. I feel obligated to tell you that most people will get this and then do nothing with it. But if you just apply yourself a little bit, you'll see results, and you'll see them fast. I don't think there's anybody watching this that has a worse track record with money prior to becoming well off than me. So when I say this will work for anyone, I really believe that. And at the end of the day, the only way to know whether or not it will give you what you want is to try it for yourself, risk-free. Don't try it, and there's no chance it will work for you. And that sadly means you'll be stuck in a financial mess for a very, very long time. Question 4. Is there anything else I need to buy to make this work? Surely it takes money to make money. Nope, just the $37 will be enough to get you well on your way to realizing your dreams. You'll be offered a couple more things that I think will be an excellent fit for you, but you don't have to spend anything else. Question number 5. Hey Matthew, I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I'm already earning high six figures. Is this worth my time? I'd say yes, unless you're already content with what you make and the lifestyle you lead. I've seen numerous big earners use this to make a lot more. And while a lot of people would say there's not much you can do with $500,000 that you can't do with $250,000, I'm sure they'd disagree. Question 6. How long until I see significant changes? Most people can feel this working for them inside a week. But really it depends on you and how serious you are about reprogramming your brain to think and act like a millionaire. Question number 7. How does the checkout process work? Click the buy button below. You'll then be taken to ClickBank's checkout page, where you can either pay securely with a credit card or PayPal. From there, just take a minute to fill in your details, and I'll fire across the Wealthy Brain Hack to your inbox in less than 2 minutes. Do that now. Right now. As if you don't take action today, you'll have to endure months and years of more failure, and you'll regret your decision not to take this opportunity. So let's not extend your wait for wealth any longer. Look below this video. Hit the buy button and lock in access to the Wealthy Brain Hack at the discounted price before the promotional period ends.